The house was silent, too silent, the kind of silence that makes your skin crawl and your heart race. It was as if the house itself was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. Janet Hodgson, clutching her worn teddy bear, sat frozen on her bed. Her eyes darted around the room, searching for the source of her fear. The teddy bear, once a source of comfort, now felt like a fragile shield against the unknown. From the shadowed corner of her room came a sound, a low, rasping breath. Janet's breath hitched as she strained to hear more. The darkness seemed to pulse with a life of its own, each shadow a potential threat. Her heart pounded as a twisted figure emerged, its head tilted unnaturally, its cracked lips forming the words, "Get out!" The figure's eyes glowed with a malevolent light, sending chills down Janet's spine. Before she could scream, the figure lunged at her, dragging the darkness with it. The room seemed to close in around her, the walls pressing in as the figure reached out with shadowy hands. Janet's world went black. What started as faint knocks on the walls soon turned into relentless pounding. One night, as Peggy Hodgson tucked her children into bed, a heavy dresser slid across the floor, slamming against the door. "Who's doing this?" No one answered, except a growl that echoed through the room. Janet began sleepwalking, whispering in distorted tones. Her younger brother Billy found her standing motionless at 3 a.m., facing the static on the TV. When she turned to him, her pale face and hollow eyes sent chills down his spine. "He's here." In the U.S., Lorraine Warren awoke from a nightmare. The nun, the crooked man. "They're coming, Ed." When a call came to investigate the Hodgson's case in Enfield, Lorraine hesitated, but Ed convinced her to go. At the Hodgson home, the Warrens found chaos. The family described moving furniture, voices, and Janet speaking in tongues. That night, Lorraine felt an oppressive energy in Janet's room. She froze as a toy music box began playing by itself. The melody stopped abruptly, replaced by a childlike giggle that morphed into a sinister snarl. "Hello, Lorraine!" The toy flew across the room, narrowly missing her. Billy was awoken by a soft hum. From his toy box emerged a shadowy figure singing in a deep, haunting tone that sent chills down his spine. The room grew colder, and the air felt heavy with an eerie presence. There was a crooked man. Billy screamed as the crooked man, impossibly tall with twisted limbs, crawled toward him. His eyes glowed with a sinister light, and his voice echoed with a chilling resonance that filled the room. The Warrens rushed in, but the creature melted into the shadows, leaving behind a cold, empty silence. Billy's heart raced as he clung to his parents, the terror still fresh in his mind. The following night, Janet was thrown from her bed, levitating as if invisible hands gripped her. "I am Bill Wilkins, this is my house." As objects flew across the room, Lorraine closed her eyes and saw a darker truth. Behind Bill's spirit loomed a demonic nun, Valak, a being of pure evil. Lorraine realized Bill Wilkins was merely a pawn. Valak, the true demon, sought to destroy the Warrens by breaking their faith. "This is a battle of the soul," Lorraine declared. During the seance, Valak manifested in full form. The lights flickered, walls bled, and the demon's monstrous visage filled the room. The air grew thick with an oppressive darkness, making it hard to breathe. Shadows danced menacingly on the walls, and a chilling wind swept through the room, carrying whispers of torment and despair. "You cannot stop me!" it roared, lunging at Lorraine. She held her Bible tight, shouting prayers. Her voice trembled but did not falter, each word a beacon of hope against the encroaching darkness. The room seemed to pulse with malevolent energy, but Lorraine's faith was unwavering. The demon's claws reached for her throat, but Lorraine screamed its name. "Valak!" The name echoed through the room, a powerful incantation that momentarily halted the demon's advance. Lorraine's eyes burned with determination as she faced the embodiment of evil. The demon shrieked, dissolving into smoke as Lorraine banished it back to the void. The room fell silent, the oppressive atmosphere lifting as the last remnants of Valak's presence vanished. Lorraine collapsed to her knees, exhausted but victorious. The Hodgsons were free, though forever haunted by memories. The house, once a place of terror, now stood eerily quiet. The family embraced, tears of relief streaming down their faces, but the scars of their ordeal would remain. As the Warrens returned home, Lorraine paused. The weight of their experiences hung heavy in the air. She knew their battle against the forces of darkness was far from over. For a fleeting moment, the shadow of a nun flickered on their wall. It was a stark reminder of the evil that still lurked in the shadows, waiting for its next opportunity to strike. "It's not over," she whispered. Her words hung in the air, a solemn vow to continue their fight against the darkness. The battle was won, but the war was far from over.